Welcome to 2020. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. This is our episode of MindBody TV. And I'm really excited to share what came through for today, which is all about welcoming in this new decade, this new world that we're in. Here we are. We've arrived, not just in this new year, but there's with each year that comes in, it has its own energy of what's possible as we evolve, as we awaken, as we move more and more into unity consciousness and more out of victim consciousness or separation consciousness. And for this year in this decade, there's just a mega awakening and a really stepping into unity consciousness fully. So you'll see things start to show up much more easily, and you'll have a lot more clarity. So we're going to talk about that and how to integrate that, what will support you in integrating that physically, mentally, emotionally. For those of you who don't know me, hello everyone who's joining live. I love hearing where you're joining from. Eva from Madrid. Hello, Michelle from Pearland, Texas. Hey, Andrea. Rachel, Victoria, Alicia, Anita, hello. And hello to everyone who's listening to the recording, watching the recording, or listening to the podcast. You definitely will want to tune in to what we're sharing today because there's a lot of powerful energy that's available this year over the next decade that we'll be integrating. But it's a matter of how do you access it? How do you open to allow it? And how do you let yourself have the clarity to receive it? So for those of you who don't know me, I am a conscious physician and have really been practicing over the last several years solely in the mind-body medicine space of how consciousness affects your cells, your health, your energy level, whether you're aging or whether you're staying youthful and young and filled with vitality. It has so much to do with what you believe about yourself, whether you're playing games out in your mind and patterns of trying to control life and figure it out, or you've surrendered and come into the heart in a space of love and joy, and you're integrating those energies and letting that run the show. This is different information that gets sent to your cells. Every cell in your body is listening. And specifically for what we're talking about today, there's cellular memory. Meaning your cells are on autopilot for the programs you're playing out in your life, whether you have health, wealth, vitality, love, joy, or whether you're playing out old patterns of lack, limitation, self-sabotage, depression, anxiety, fear, fill it in. And these will have a really strong effect on what's going on in your health and your body. So for so many people who've come to my work, experiencing autoimmune disease, chronic fatigue syndrome, severe chronic pain, anxiety, depression, or even just obscure illnesses that they don't even know what's going on, being in that state of bewilderment and not being able to access answers, clarity, how do I move forward with my life, is part of what's clearing right now in this transition. So how do we allow that cellular integration so our body is living something different, not playing out those old patterns of lack, fear, judgment, self-sabotage, but actually allowing in abundance. And that comes when we are in unity consciousness. Unity consciousness is the awareness I'm connected, life's on my side, I am taken care of, I easily receive all I need to do is show up and breathe. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, and I have a few points that I wrote down because there was so much information that came through for today. The first piece that we're going to share about is what we're moving from in 2020 and the 20s and beyond is going from out of victim consciousness, out of the victim game where I'm playing life and doing life and I got to keep ahead of it. I got to fight hard. I got to work hard. I got to do right. I got to make sure, versus creator game, victim game, creator game. I'm a creator. Everything is a reflection of me. As I show up, honoring myself, cherishing myself, paying attention, listening, being present to myself, my pain, what's real, who am I? I am co-creating that which is a reflection of my divinity, a reflection of the amazing being that I am. I am creating a life that honors me, embraces me, has space for me, loves and cherishes me, provides for me, makes amends. Like I can't make a mistake because life will take care of me. I evolve, I grow, I open. I'm always expanding. So victim game to creator game. I did a really great EFT tapping session that I put on my YouTube about transitioning from victim consciousness, like releasing victim consciousness. And even if you don't think you've been in the victim game and you're like, I'm not a victim. What do you mean I'm a victim? I'm way above that. I've come beyond that. I know I'm co-creating my life. But there's that edge of like, I'm better than that, or I'm above that, or how dare you say I'm a victim? Like you're still in that duality. You are still completing victim consciousness to some degree. Like we all have been completing victim consciousness to some, maybe it's hidden in a little nitty gritty place that you're not aware of, but this is a really powerful integration. It only takes, I think it was like 15 or 20 minutes. It's posted on Kim Duramo on my YouTube tube. It's Kim Duramo on YouTube. Anyway, you can find it there, but that'll be a really great thing to do. And I had people already comment like, oh my God, I didn't think I had any victim consciousness that I was in, and just tears were streaming the whole time because there was so much energy releasing. So the first thing I wanted to, Michelle says, I'll be listening and cooking. Anita from Miami, Florida, Rachel from the UK. Awesome. Okay. Hey, everybody else. There's a bunch of people who just joined. So this first piece, moving from the victim game that we're playing to the creator game, is a major, major piece. And take all the time you need to integrate this. The most powerful way to integrate it is just observe where you are, embrace where you are, and breathe. Get out of the chasing it, running it, making it wrong, trying to fix it, getting beyond it to a better place, because that's the victim game where you've got to outrun your ego. I had this download a week or two ago where I realized that this whole victim game, you're outrunning your own ego. Like your ego has a whole storage of the thoughts and beliefs and ideas and memories and triggers that you've accumulated through your life. I'm not good enough. I need to do more. Oh my gosh, I feel like a fraud. I'm ashamed of myself, or I'm inadequate, or I have an energy block, or, oh, this is wrong that I have this illness. This is wrong that I did this thing. This is wrong. I spent the last 20 years, not living my life. Whatever it is you're making wrong, that gets stored in what we call the ego. It actually gets stored cellularly. Like your cells have memory. They are holding this information. And then what we have to do when we play the victim game is we have to outrun the ego. We got to be better and faster and smarter and on it and keep going and work harder and fight harder and prove and rise above and be more positive, because we're still holding this. So it's only our own negativity that we've got to be positive against. It's only our inadequacy that we've got to overcome and improve ourselves for. So what if we can dissolve and resolve the ego game, the victim game, like actually resolve that ego so it's no longer in charge? Doesn't matter if it's still there. It's just not driving the car. So it's irrelevant that I still feel incapable or inadequate, or there's shame or fear. Okay. And my consciousness is driving the car, making the choices, witnessing what's happening, and meeting myself with compassion. So how do we move from that victim game to creator game? Is by embracing where we are right now. Because even if all you do is just slow down and take a breath, the one driving the car, the one driving the car of your life just decided, like, I'm not going to keep running on the treadmill. I'm going to just take a deep breath and observe this. And what you do when you pause is you slow down the ego. You're no longer having to outrun it. You slow down the one who's trying to outrun. You slow down the whole system. You slow down the ego that's creating the obstacles, that's creating the you're not good enough, that's creating all the things you fear, all the things you're afraid of. that lack, you slow down everything. So if you can just take pauses, that's all you do now is like, wow, I witness, I'm uncomfortable. I witness, I'm in pain. I witness, I'm getting defensive and acting from my ego. I witness, I feel inadequate. So I'm going on to Facebook to try to see what else is going on in my life and feel better. Or I feel stuck. So let me go watch a YouTube video and learn something and get motivated. But it's actually an escape. So if you instead pause, hey, Jess, thanks for posting the EFT video. She posted it in here. If you instead pause, and Jim says the tapping session was so powerful. Thank you. That pause will slow down the whole system so that you can see. If you just do one thing through this year to move from victim game to creator game, pause. And when you pause, breathe, choose to breathe, consciously breathe, feel what's coming up. I wrote a little process. So one of the things that's coming up is going to be fear. And I have this person I've been working with privately who has been in probably the lowest frequency of anyone I've worked with privately in a long time. But yet she chose this. She said yes, she showed up. We created something specific for her. And she's a warrior. There's so much that's been in the way, but she's receiving this anyway. Most people who are at that lower frequency of feeling victimized, she's in this like unthinkable, excruciating pain, like absolutely torturous. And they don't really know why and understand what's going on. But she was, so for most people who are experiencing that, they're so bought into their lack. Oh, I don't have it. That won't work for me. That's too much money. I don't have the money. And then they buy it. They just buy into the lack. So even if they have the inspiration, like, I wonder what this could be. Or even an inspiration of, yes, I'm having that they won't actually feel that. They'll just feel, oh yeah, this person's crazy. That won't work. That won't work for me. I can't have that. And they actually are so bought into the lack and limitation, they can't see beyond it. So I was really pretty amazed that this person showed up. And working with her and like several other people that I've been connecting with over the last couple of weeks, I really began to see that the big thing that's shifting out, like completely out in this decade, in this year, is that victim consciousness, is the idea we're separate, we're not sourced, I'm on my own, I've got to fight, all the stuff of the ego where it carries those belief systems, and then we got to outrun the ego, and that's your life. So in honor of her courage and of all the people that I've seen through this process and my own ways that I've emerged through this, this is a really beautiful way to move beyond that. And so the first step, just take a few breaths and feel what you feel. So this is like when you're triggered, or if you just want to take time for 10 minutes and do a practice, especially now in the start of the year, take 10 breaths, or like spend 5 minutes breathing. Just feel what's going on in your body. Wow, I'm triggered. Or even, I don't even know what's here, but I'm living lack. I don't have health. I don't have money. I don't know why. And just tune in. 5 minutes breathing, tune in. Okay, feel my body. Great, did that. And then the next piece is to just swamp it out, write it all down. These are the beliefs. I'm not good enough. It's not enough. It'll never work for me. This time I tried in the past and then I lost. Or this person who disappointed me, or I'm just so bewildered because this has gone on so long. There's nothing I can do. And for her, there were these really strong beliefs. It's not enough. No matter how much compassion I have for myself, it will never be enough. And someone actually said on that YouTube video for the EFT to release victim consciousness, yeah, this is all great, but I can't remember the exact words, but it was like the same iteration of it's not enough. I've given myself compassion. I've done everything. I've tried everything. I've given myself love, but it's never enough. Nothing's changed. And the big piece is the whole difference is, are you doing it to try to manipulate things and change things and make things better? Nothing wrong with that. Or are you doing this to give yourself love? Because nothing wrong with trying to fix it. I got to fix it. I got to escape. Can't stand it anymore. I have to escape. It just won't ever work to create resolution. It isn't the same as giving yourself love for the sake of giving yourself love. One is conditional, will never create healing, and the other is unconditional, and it is like the nectar of life to your cells, and it will always create healing. But there are no expectations. When you're in expectation, it's conditional. And I'm not saying you don't still want to get better. Of course, it's your nature. But will you be willing to be present anyway? No matter what's happening, no matter how deep the despair feels. Because when you do this second step and you swamp it out, write it down, the things that are coming out are all the ideas you have about the experience. There's my pain, and then there's, oh my God, it's been going on so long. Oh my God, it'll never end. It's never enough, nothing's working, right? There's my pain, and then there's my thoughts about it. There's the experience, and then there's my beliefs. So take 5 minutes to breathe, step 1. Step 2 is swamp it out, write it out, journal. These are all the thoughts and ideas I'm having right now. This fucking sucks. I'll never make it. Who's this chipper girl telling me? Who does she think she is? Anything, doesn't matter what comes out. The third piece is take that piece of paper with all the stuff on it, as deep as you can go, and just hold it to your heart. Honor it. You do not need to extract those beliefs. You do not need to change them, make them go away, fight against them. Just, yes, I embrace all of this with all my heart. I embrace that this has been my experience, that these are the beliefs I've held. Because you'll actually see it when you swamp it out. And then you've got to honor it. There is one in pain. There's one in you who is in pain. And no one can meet that depth but you. No one understands the depth of it the way you do. Can you meet that one? Just hold it to your heart. So that's step 3. And then the last piece is I consciously choose to release this, to no longer feed these beliefs. And it doesn't mean like, okay, I release all these beliefs. Okay, now I'm good. But just you're neutralizing them. You no longer have to fight against them. No, you no longer have to be harmed by them. I choose to embrace this and no longer vest myself in this belief system. So you can just ask, is this even true? Your body knows. Your body won't lie. If it feels heavy and stuck, despairing, powerless, it's a lie. You can release it. Let your cells know it's okay for us to let this go. But you've got to do that third step first. I embrace all of this with the deepest space of love. So one is breathing and feel what you feel. And the second one is swamp it out, write it out, get all of it out on paper. You can see it. The third piece is embrace it. Hold it to your heart, honor it. I love you, I love you, I love you to that one who is in pain. Feel that space of love in your heart and let it expand beyond you. And then that last step is I choose to release this and embrace something higher and let your cells drink in that love and that light. Okay. Look at some of the comments here. And so something is in front of your audio input. It's hard to hear. Sorry. Hope that's better. Where's my notes? Okay. So this is the biggest thing about 2020 and this next decade is that victim game is no longer supported. Like if you have a computer and you have these old programs and your computer tells you those programs are no longer supported in this interface. And you're like, oh, okay, you got to delete those programs or get a new app or a new program. So entering the space of the heart, it does reprogram and repattern your brain. Literally, it changes your neurologic connections. New information, new awareness, new understanding, and feeds your body, feeds your cells, so your cells heal. Whether you're inspired to go do a certain practice or take a certain supplement or who knows what, doesn't matter. or the healing can just come by a transmutation. Happens every moment of every day. Your cells are being fed. But to come into this space of the heart and release this space of the mind, which is the ego, churning out all those thoughts, ideas, beliefs, fears. Whoa, watch out for this. Oh, it's not okay. Just going to create more chaos. So come into this space, let your entire system be fed. Those old programs, those belief systems of I'm inadequate, I'm not good enough, it'll never work for me, I'm not okay, I don't have what I need, I got to fend for myself, I got to fight, I got to overcome, I got to get motivated. Like this has been historically the big time to get motivated and make changes and improve your life. Well, there is no more energy in that. It's no longer supported. So if you stay in separation consciousness, not that I'm being dire here, but you will it's not going to work. You will have pain, you will suffer, you will be depleted, you will be in lack. It is no longer supported. There's no energy in it. So the more you vest yourself in that, no matter how hard you try to work those old programs of what you learned to outrun the ego, they will no longer work. The only place where there is resource abundance is to move into love. So what does that mean? Okay, I got to be love. How do I get there from here? I'm here. I want to be there. I can't be here anymore. No, it's all about embracing where you are right now. So if you notice sabotage, if you notice judgment, love yourself. Yep, here I am doing my judgy thing. Here I am buying into my old lack pattern, feeling sorry for myself, complaining, eating the whole tub of ice cream, whatever it is, like not, I should go out for a walk, but no, I really don't feel like it. I'll just sit here. And then you make yourself wrong for it. Don't make yourself wrong. Celebrate yourself. Okay, I noticed this thing that I probably think I shouldn't do, but I'm just going to love and cherish myself. The only thing that can ever be lacking is more of you showing up in your life. And the only reason that doesn't happen is you haven't received the love that you need. So if there's any charge around this whole like, who are you calling a victim? I'm not a victim. Well, there's more love that you need. You just haven't let it in, or it hasn't been available. Let's just give you that. Maybe you haven't been able to access everything you need so that you could open and receive everything in grace and ease. Open and receive, wow, is there any victim energy hanging out? Let's look. Okay. Like, there's no harm in receiving it. Don't judge yourself for it and don't defend against it. So see if you can receive everything with grace and ease by letting yourself access that love. Only you can do it. Eva says, this reminded me of your video I happened to watch yesterday before entering the new year to transcend the emotional scale by embracing all that is and releasing resistance. Yeah, because there's a lot of things people do to try to improve yourself, to feel better, to increase your frequency, to have more love, to have more abundance, to have more wealth, to have a better job, to have a better body, blah, blah, blah. It's all about, on some level, increasing your frequency, but you can't get there that way. You can only be here more willingly. You can only be here more lovingly. She says, as I've been feeling like you said, someone commented, nothing I did was ever enough. Thank you. All this feels like the key to true change without the struggle to fix myself. Yeah, you'll see like never before. There isn't any energy. It's completely unsupported to do the like, I'm going to make a better life and I'm going to go to the gym every day and I'm going to feel better about myself once I do this thing. But you're like, you're doing it out of push versus inspiration. You're doing it out of avoidance. I don't want to feel like a big slug and hate myself. I'm going to go to the gym so I feel better about myself. Like, it's still duality. You will see within a very short time, like, oh, that's not going to work. Because the only way to allow an actual expansion is by embracing where you are right now, as you are right now, which is that EFT video does that. So we are having the Ignite program starting next week, for anyone who wants to join me for this month-long integration. For those of you in the Embracing Health program, just know there's a special code for you if you'd like to join Ignite. For anyone who wants to join me this year in Embracing Health, it's a year-long integration. We meet monthly. You receive twice a month audio integrations that I've done really, really powerfully to allow the transmutation of the old energies, the old consciousness, the old belief systems to really embrace and embody this space of self-love so that, yes, there's this massive expansion in your life. We will do a lot more of what we touched on today in that group call, which we have tomorrow, I think, for this month's Embracing Health. So we're going to do a lot more integration around this whole idea of like stop outrunning the ego and how the true integration happens when you meet yourself where you are right now. There's another big thing that came up around that with so for a lot of people that and this doesn't even make sense in duality, like, what do you mean there's nothing wrong? Like, you've done nothing wrong. But how do you actually come into a space to embrace, like, what do you mean? What could be right about this? I've been abused. I've been tortured. I've been permanently, physically scarred. How can I embrace what's right about this? But in the new consciousness, to be integrated, this is exactly what you're here to do. You are the one who's here to meet that with compassion. This is what allows the body to heal. So we'll go a lot more deeply into that in the Embracing Health group call for those of you in the Embracing Health program. That's at drkimd.com/health. For any of you who'd like to join me this year, it's a year-long integration. Great time to join that program if that's something that resonates for you. Okay, Sharu says, how do you show yourself? Oh, it didn't come through. Rachel, how do you show yourself love? Yeah, so that's what it is, meeting yourself in those moments when you see it's not enough, I'm not enough. It's how could I be expected to get through this? This is excruciating. Of course this is wrong. I should fight against this. That's the key, is how do you meet that moment more willingly and meet the one who is suffering instead of be the one trying to escape the suffering. Rachel says, this is really helpful as I still tend to get caught up in the fear trap of thinking and worrying about the future. Yeah, so enter your body, because your body only lives in the now, and you will enter what's actually happening. What's actually happening is there's discomfort coming up. What's actually happening is there's fear coming up. And then in a split of a second, it gets projected onto control. Maybe if I do this, or don't do that, or if this doesn't happen, or this thing might happen. And then it's, how can I control this so that I can avoid this fear? It's all an escape. But what if instead you paused, breathe, get curious. What's going on right now? My mind's going on a spin out about the future, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what might happen. It's not okay. Big scary monster of, you're not okay. Just pause. Is this even true? What's actually happening? Feel your body and just take 10 breaths. And if that's all you do, you'll dissipate that energy. Even if you dissipate it 2%, now you're no longer fueling the ego and outrunning the ego. You've actually created a pause to look what's actually happening. There's an experience in my body that I'm avoiding. What if I'd be willing to just breathe 10 breaths and move into it more fully instead of less? Which is exactly in the Embracing Health program, that's exactly what we're doing, but through the audio integrations, it sort of does the work for you in your system to allow your body to, all you say is yes, and it lets your system release these old patterns. She says, I know if I trust and let go, I'll be taken care of. And yeah, but you don't know. See, this is the thing that's the difference between a conscious belief and an unconscious belief. You know consciously, hey, I'll just let go, I'll be taken care of. I get the mechanics of the way the universe works, but your system is still holding on to that old paradigm. So you've got to just kind of do the work to make that pause, to let your physical system catch up to what you consciously know. That's the cellular integration. That's what we'll be doing in the Ignite program this month and throughout the year in the Embracing Health program. She says, I know I have all I need, but then we tend to be bombarded with the Plan Your Future program, which brings up fear and feelings of lack. I get back up in the mind. Connecting with the heart is a powerful way to shift this. Thank you. Okay. Grace, the reminder that offers ease to recognize that before psychological machinations, our biology of our limbic brain, allow ease and with one's trained habits of survival. From there, relax into change. Thank you, Grace. Liz says, Happy New Year from Seattle. Hey, Nicole and Sarah just joining. So for those of you just joining, you can rewind. We're going to complete. I know that process is a really powerful one that I've put in here. So definitely practice that. Use that as you like. Or just even any little pause throughout the day of like, let me do a little check-in. That's what the ABC tool is. The instant elevation tool is a pause. It's a check-in. Instead of having my ego be in the driver's seat and I'm trying to outrun the ego, pause. You put a pause on the ego that carries all those belief systems, and you put a pause on the self that's trying to outrun, and you allow a deeper integration of stillness. And that is the only thing that can ever be lacking. All right, everyone, lots of love. Andrea says, I think being hyper aware of my body is my problem. That was where I lived for so long, is being in a fear mentality and so aware of my body literally created an autoimmune disease. So what if I'm in a love mentality of my body and aware of my body, of my relationships, of my life, of my money, of my everything? That's what I've integrated. That's the year-long integration in Embracing Health, is integrating a love mentality. That's unity consciousness. So for all of us, we're moving in there, but these are some of the programs I've created to assist that transition, allow it to be much more joyful and smooth and rich and beautiful, so that you soak it in and let these these programs release, because they're just going to feel more intense and low frequency and heavy as you carry them from this moment forward, only to assist your awakening, only so you can go, oh, let me let go of that. But if you're not aware of what's happening, it just feels heavy and painful, right? So you can see why so many people make it wrong. Oh my God, this is bad. This is wrong. Something really bad is happening. So having that fear mentality and awareness of the body is like, that's the worst combination. And that's why so many empaths say, I just don't want to be so sensitive. I just don't want to be so sensitive. No, don't do that. Just release the fear, or be willing to embrace love with what you notice. Be willing to embrace love with the awareness that you have. And then you can transmute everything. Then you can embrace love. You know, one of my clients asked me, how do you do the remote harmonizations? That's amazing. And I felt it. And so I found a way to describe it. And it's basically, I hold a space of pure love as I observe their system and everything going on in their system. I do it for people I work with privately. I do it for my programs. I do it for my business. I do it for the Embracing Health group as a whole. It's easy, but it's about accessing that space of pure love. Someone told me the other day, oh my God, I had this whole awakening and I realized what's really been bothering me and what's really been at the crux of this, and it's something I can't do anything about, and I got to fight against this, and I got to make sure no one else ever does this again. And I was like, that's an interesting perspective. Not at all what you need to do. How can we embrace this? How can we integrate this? And in just a couple minutes, it was a massive expansion for that person to see a whole new perspective and realize, like, oh, I don't need 10 years of therapy on this or to fight anything. I can allow myself to move through it. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff that is in store for all of us here. Hey, Randy, Happy New Year. Thank you. Jimbo, Linda just joined from Mind Your Body program. Great gems. Great to see you, Linda. Michelle says, thank you. I was able to get all of my veggies chopped while listening to you. All right, everyone. So much love. Happy New Year. I'm at drkimd.com. You can share this from YouTube if there are others that you would like to invite to the MindBody community in Facebook, or just to have listened to this video if you think it will be insightful. I, again, am a physician now practicing conscious medicine to assist the awakening for others and just assist this process. You're already in this awakening process, but it helps immensely to have clarity and guidance to move through it, to understand what's going on and move through it. I will also be having, so in addition to the Ignite program, which is at drkimd.com/Ignite, that's the integration we'll be doing in January. If you'd like to join that. I will also be having a live retreat called Alive Woman. It's for women specifically in May. So for those of you who'd like to join me live, it will be absolutely spectacular. One of the most powerful things I've ever created. And you're welcome to join me there live. And that's on my website as well, drkimd.com/retreat. So any questions for what we've talked about here, I look forward to hearing from you. Sending you lots of love. Happy New Year. And I'll see you soon. Bye.